good afternoon. We're here in Union Square Park doing the interview outdoors as we normally do when the weather's wonderful. We have with us this afternoon Osar, right, who works here in the city. He has products that he vends and much else, and his story is very interesting. So we think this would be a good addition for New Millennium War History Archives in the world. Today, Thursday, 27 May 2021. So Osar, tell us about your story, your journey up to now. You're quite a young individual.
Yes, and my mom's 10 kids,
So you're one of 10 children?
Yeah, I'm
okay.
the youngest out of 10 kids.
You're the youngest, wow.
Yes, she had 6 girls and 4 boys. So I grew up with my sisters, Monica, April, Charlie, Tina. So I used to be outside and I used to be with her.
Tell us where you.
I grew up in College Avenue, 96th Street in the Bronx.
So you grew up in the Bronx?
Yeah, I grew up in the Bronx.
Right.
And my father had me selling CDs, DVDs, Ralph Lauren shirts, which is about polo, chap shirts.
Yeah,
and
just
stuff.
make sure you talk loud enough because we're doing outdoors. There's a lot of activity.
Chap shirts and stuff like that. So therefore,
so you were selling CDs and other products with your father?
Yeah,
right.
Selling fitted hats with my brother and stuff like that. So I grew up as a hustler,
We want to make it clear when we say hustler.
I grew up
selling legitimate products,
selling
hats, clothing,
CDs.
Absolutely.
And so therefore, as I got older, I felt that this is my niche, because I've been so good at it. So then,
tell us where you went to elementary school or grammar school.
Oh, I went to
through the 8th grade.
I went to 53 public 53 school. That's on Finley.
Is that PS 53?
PS 53 on Finley, 168.
Okay.
168th Street. Near College Avenue. I went to that school. I went to New Garrett School, 151. Grand Concourse Village.
Right.
I went to 750 Jenner Street. I went to PS 186. I was in my high school.
Right.
Years and Westchester Square, the 6th train, Westchester Square, P12 Lewis and Clark. They Daytime Square. I went to a few schools.
All through what, the 8th grade or?
I went through the 8th grade.
So you were just going to different schools?
Yeah.
Was your family moving around?
No, it was in the same borough, the Bronx, at that moment in time. And then I was going to those different schools, and stuff like that, trying to find my way,
Was your growing up, was it enjoyable?
It was, for the most part, it was enjoyable, but it was pretty rough, being rich, getting fell asleep in church, running away, stuff like that, got locked up in an acting concert on Marvin Charles. So
we'll get to that in a little bit. But you were born in New York?
Yeah, born and raised in New York. I was born in Bedfordsville Hospital.
Okay. And your parents are from New York as well?
Yeah. Okay. My father's from New York. My mom's just born in Charleston, North Carolina.
Right. And then after the 8th grade, you went to high school?
Yeah, I went to high school. Went to P12 Lewis and Clark. And then I also went to a GED program in 28th Street.
So you got your GED? Right. And then you skipped over because you wanted to tell us something, so now you can tell us.
Oh yeah, I went to an acting concert on Marvin Charles, because my sister, she got 5 kids, 4 boys, 1 girl. My nephews, they begged me to go to North Carolina. And I was bored out there because out there ain't really much to do. So I was trying to get back to New York.
Just a little louder. So you wound up in North Carolina.
I was in North Carolina. I was bored trying to get back to New York.
How old were you when you were?
I was the first time I put the charges, I was like 18 years old.
So you were 18
in 2004.
And then you said that you got it.
Then ran afoul of 06, 20 years old. That's when I got sentenced.
So you got sentenced.
Yeah.
And you served time.
Yeah.
At the age of 20.
Yeah, and I came out March 2010. Then I 2010.
So how many years was that?
I came back and I spent on correction officer October 2010. Then I been home since November 13, 2012.
Okay.
Yeah. So I've been in 7.5 years altogether. So for me, I just been doing the right thing, staying focused, maintaining hands on my business, staying out on the street.
Right. We know you as a salesman. Yeah. You sell your products. You got wonderful stuff, and you're doing great stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm so glad that you were able to.
own health website.
Yeah, please mention the website.
It's called www.evolution.pertrim.com. That's www.evolution.pertrim.com. And y'all can catch me on Instagram, KStretch13. You can catch me on Facebook at KStretch the Don Schuler. And my YouTube is Osar Basketball.
Is Don Schuler named after the coach, the football coach?
Before I ever heard of the football coach, I called myself that.
Okay.
But it got its ties into that.
I just thought
it got its ties into that. But
okay.
before then, I had called myself that.
Okay.
And
right.
whatnot.
Wonderful. So I mean, the 7.5 years, just not to dwell on that, but you know, it's a pivotal point in your young life. You were able to survive that whole experience. And was it one prison that you went in, or?
I was in several
prisons. 7.5 years.
Because at first you just be trying to do your thing, then you have a little fights here and there. And after that, they wind up doing what they were supposed to do. Correctional officers, they give you an extra 6 months. Right. But just a cursing charge, and they're not supposed to do that. They're supposed to do something violent. And they leave you in a hole for an extra 6 months. They just do whatever they want to do. So I was like 2-3 hour lockdown before, solitary confinement and whatnot.
So that was in your, so you were there in your 20s.
Yeah, and I'm 35 now. So
right.
That's like way beyond me and whatnot. So
tell us what you feel that you were able to be productive and to use that time that you were in there to get involved in and to sort of have your consciousness raised and start a process of rehabilitating yourself.
That's because I was dealing with self-knowledge. You know, I was welcoming the life. I was figuring out what life is all about, how we got to structure to life, how we born and live, just like we born and die, and how we got one life to live. Wherever we go after we die, we'll find out when we die. So I don't really focus on that. I focus on here and now, and I just try to live life to the utmost, to the fullest.
I mean, I think most people know you as a tranquil, very peaceful person.
Yeah.
Who imparts, common sensible.
Yeah, I'm a peaceful individual.
Information.
I just try to teach the world how to live better, how we should treat one another, how we gotta respect people's pride, how we gotta respect the fact that the fact that we gotta like whatever we like, we gotta stick to it. And if whatever I like, I know that I'm into it. I don't care who's selling to me, because I'm being loyal to it. But if I'm being loyal to what I like, I'm automatically spread the wealth, spread the love to other individuals. Regardless of their race and nationality.
Absolutely. Let's backtrack a little, Osar. What are some of the activities that you're involved? Are you involved in any sort of community-centered activities? I see you got the Tupac picture of Tupac on the T-shirt. Was he an influence to you, or
yeah?
You sing or perform as well?
Oh, I rap, but I don't take it seriously. But the Tupac is an influence because he's been through what I've been through and whatnot. He was spreading knowledge to the world. He's a motivational speaker. And I'm on several platforms spreading knowledge to the world as well. But also I did more time into not like that's something cool to look at. But it's really like, it's sad that it's not like a rites of passage because nobody needs to get locked up in order to overstand life. But what we do in unfortunate situations like accessory, you know what I'm saying, where they make you the mastermind, you get railroaded by the system, you come out still on top, you're just trying to teach the world that gratitude comes in many different forms. You don't have to say your gratitude, you have gratitude. You show your gratitude through the foods you may eat, through you being able to do more than what you couldn't do, because the worst thing of being incarcerated and locked up is that you're fantasizing. You used to do that, wish I could have this, wish I could have that. So now that you're going in, you do whatever you want to do, as long as you have the money for it. So that's what I do most.
Let it be known that, let it be known that you've always made it clear that for you, you use that as a time to rehabilitate and improve yourself. And what you've always, from what I've gathered, is spread the message of positivity and peace and harmony and to build a beloved community. And you see that that's you're a walking testimony to that. That's what you do, right? Now, are you also involved in any activities that groups that are involved in community improvement, community uplift, whether spiritual, whether political?
I was involved in the homeless.
Okay.
That's like an organization, like a coalition.
Talk a little louder and tell us about that.
That's an organization and coalition that advocates for the homeless and their rights. Because I was in the shelter system for 4 years.
You got to talk a little loud. I know you can.
I was once in the shelter system for like 4 years and a half. You know what I'm saying? And,
so you were in the
so I had my own apartment since December 19th, 2016. You know what I'm saying? So therefore, that's why I dealt with it being happy more than
right. So let me just ask you, because you talk very tall and you talk very low, but so how did you, being in the shelter system for 4.5 years, was it just a matter of trying to get enough to get a place, a deposit, and all that? Why was it that length of time? Because like, you're a single person, right?
Yeah.
Do you have any children?
Nope. Okay. Because at times, you have fights with people and stuff like that. For very different. And then they supposed to take your paperwork. While your paperwork go, they're supposed to have your paperwork go with you. But instead, they don't do that. They feel like out of sight, out of mind. Right. I can take it, right? So I don't have to help. Wow. So
it's a kind of negligence and indifference on the part of the people who often, their feelings are cauterized or hardened. So that's what you experience within the shelter system, a kind of indifference.
Yeah. So like I felt I was going through that type of thing. Also when I spoke to the housing specialist, when I had my own place, they wanted to give it to the people that just sit in the shelter system. They don't follow what they need to do or they get housing. So that too though, like you get railroad in the shelter system as well. So I came through all of that. So now it's just uphill.
Was it a psychological thing to fight your way out of that cycle of being in the shelter system?
Yeah, because like the number one thing you want to do, you want to indulge in yourself. You want to be all the way in tune with yourself, because everything that you do in life becomes old. So if you're dealing with yourself, you're dealing with happiness, you can override sadness, the bad days. You know what I'm saying? So once you do that, therefore you go a lot further in your life. So I was doing that. I was using that as a tool. Like, hold on, I'm about to get stressed out. Or whatever the case may be, but I'm still look out and I'm the time. I'm still tell me maybe I'm a person, maybe I'm lazy, whatever I need to do, whatever I want to do it, and everybody looking at my shoulder.
So right out of once you got out of the carceral system, prison, you're back in New York.
Yeah.
And you found housing within the shelter system.
Yeah.
Okay. So 4.5 years in the shelter system, 7.5 years. That's 12 years.
Yeah.
And you're at now 32,
35.
No, then 7.5, 4.5 years. That's 12 years.
Yeah.
You went in at 20.
Yeah.
Did you go in at 20?
Yeah.
So you're at 32.
Yeah.
Or thereabouts. And then that's when you're finally able to break the shackles and become independent. So, break from being part of the shelter system and then start striking out your. But you must have known you had the sales thing in you all along.
Yeah, because
and now you I'm sure you're a champion salesman and you're able to sell your products. So what was it that could you have done that? Just curious. During the time you were in the shelter system, for instance, could you have gotten yourself together to be able to start selling, vending the products that you're vending, and going back to what you knew as an early teen and as a teenager?
Even in the shelter system, I was selling.
Okay.
I was selling my t-shirts.
You were selling your products, right? That's right.
But with me is I direct the graphic designers, so it's like I'm a graphic designer because whatever design I want, I just tell them and direct them and make it for me. So I was making my own shirts.
So you design,
and I was selling them in the shelter system to the people.
Oh, okay. But you weren't making enough. Is that what it was?
Nah, I was
to get on your own.
Nah, I wasn't making enough to get on my own. That was just something to do outside of that. Was the confidence level that I had in myself to be like, although I'm in the shelter system, I'm gonna still make a wish for myself.
Absolutely.
Instead of just being on public assistance where you get $120 every 2 weeks. Right. You know what I mean? You could really sustain yourself.
Were you in the system here in Manhattan or Brooklyn or the Bronx?
Oh, I was in Brooklyn. I was on Moores Island and whatnot. I'm the reason why they put I'm the reason, to be honest with you, in all actuality, I'm the reason why Wars Island was made. Clark Thomas was in the newspaper because I filmed it when it was dirty and all of that. And when I filmed it on Facebook, they got a lot of bunch of shit.
Wow. Which newspaper or television station picked up?
I think the Daily News. You can look it
Because
up.
there's Randall's Island, which is a big...
Wars Island. You can look it up.
Right, but there's Randall's Island. That's not
the whole thing.
used.
It's the whole thing, but it's different sections.
Right. So the shelter's in Ward's Island.
Yeah, Wars Island. That's the name.
You enter at 125th Street and you go over.
You take the M35 bus over there. Like you said, from 125th and Lexington.
Right.
Lexington, take the M35 bus and take you. So I was on Wars Island. I ain't like how it was all dirty and they didn't care about us. Like, you know, dormitory, stuff like that. So when I was filming and whatnot, I put Mayor de Blasio. I was using hashtag de Blasio, all the names.
And then some news media picked it up.
Yeah, even sent it to the news outlets. But you would do that. You put a hashtag in the news. And that's why.
You still have the footage and everything?
Yeah.
Okay.
Still have the footage.
All right. Yeah.
Still have the footage.
Okay. Then you need to send that to us so that we could, if you want, we could attach it with this interview. Well, not now, but you know, later.
Yeah.
You could send it to us, and then we'll put your footage that you took to help open up people's consciousness about what was going on at the homeless shelter in Ward's Island. And we'll put that alongside this interview.
Yeah.
Because this is going to be on YouTube once it's edited and everything. So yeah.
So that too.
So that's
also,
an interesting development in your life.
Yeah, because like I was born on the same day George Lester Jackson from the Black Panther Party. You know what I mean? So I've always been an advocate for
Well, you know, you and I went through this before, but I also
but
told you
that's
whose birthday that is.
That's a powerful thing, though.
Absolutely.
That's a powerful
but you know
thing,
whose birthday
at the
that
end
is
of the day,
too.
when you're a person who's attentive and you pay attention to history, how he got railroaded at a young age.
Absolutely.
From stealing from a gas station, they gave him a life sentence.
And he was killed in prison.
Yeah, he was killed in prison.
He was killed
I
in
basically
August.
went through his exact lifestyle.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it wasn't from that, but I still was in prison, 23-hour lockdown, and all of that. Only difference is,
In fact, you served more time.
Yeah,
you served more time than he did.
I'm living through him. I'm basically living through vicariously, but I'm back on the outside now, and now I was still an advocate then, as I am now.
Right.
So therefore, that's a powerful thing. You know what I'm saying?
You're channeling the revolutionary zeal that he had.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you've lived longer than he has.
Yeah.
And you served longer time than he has.
Yeah.
And you're still young. And remember the other day, because now you're in this really super cleansing and spiritual side. Remember the great John Coltrane, who was born, you share the same birthday with him, 23rd September, right?
Yeah.
That's the great John Coltrane. He great jazz musician, alto, soprano, sax, very spiritual place, individual. His birthday is actually celebrated, I told you, in California, in San Francisco. There's a church there that sees him as a saint. He died in 67 at the age of 40 or 41. So you share, you know, that's a very important day. I won't get into Padre Pio, who's a Roman Catholic priest who died in 68. Also, that's a feast day of Padre Pio. It's the 23rd of September. But 23rd of September is very important. It's also that just with the vernal, the autumn equinox. That's near the autumnal equinox, when the season changes around that time, 21st, 22nd. So you're channeling George Jackson. You got John Coltrane. Very important. So that's and on the 23rd, I went to Columbia University. There's a jazz station there.
Exentacion, the young brother from Florida, is a musician. He was born on the 23rd.
I'm sure he knows
the month.
His train's birthday.
Yeah,
John
but he's not
Coltrane.
on my. He's not a Libra, but he was born on the 23rd too, though. So that's powerful.
The 23rd is what day were you?
The 23rd.
Yeah, so he's born on the 23rd.
Yeah, but that's powerful. Exentacion, he was the hottest thing that came out of Florida. You know what I mean? Because he was at the biggest fame and all.
What was his music? What kind of music?
He had like upbeat music. You know what I'm saying? He was doing with the frequencies, 432 hertz, which was the love frequency.
Well, you got to know about John Coltrane. I mean, John Coltrane, one of his great recordings that he recorded was "Love Supreme." You know, did you about a fortnight ago, about 2 weeks ago, I told you. Did you have the time? I know you're doing a lot. Did you get the time to listen to all his music?
I'm gonna listen
Not all of it,
I'm gonna
but,
listen to
you
some
know.
of his music.
Please do.
Because you informed me on it.
Yeah, because you got George Jackson and you got John Coltrane, so you can claim both of them and latch onto those two great legacies. You want to do that.
Yeah.
I mean, John Coltrane has a big following. It's global. They see him as just this extraordinary figure who was a great jazz musician, got hooked on heroin, as so many jazz musicians did in the 40s, 50s, 60s, even in the 70s, and he was able to work himself out of the addiction of heroin. Very, very powerful. It became, as you are, you're a follower of spirituality, of Eastern spirituality, John Coltrane. Now you're showing, yeah. So Train was he was deep into Eastern mysticism. So you're going to dig that. Anyway, that's a little aside, but an important one. So tell us now, as we come to the close of this segment of New Millennium Oral History Archives in the world. Tell us what your vision is for going forward, and you definitely seem like you're moving straight ahead in a positive direction. So talk to us. Tell us what you.
So hopefully my plan is, in the future to like
the future's now.
To forge ahead, and to get in a position where I can make a good amount, decent amount of money, and I can just feed the homeless in my own code. Like I can take days off, and I'm saying, and hopefully have somebody waiting for me at my vending table, my vending station, and then I can just feed the homeless and stuff like that.
Right.
The less fortunate, stuff like that.
That's
probably make people go to things.
Absolutely.
Feel some good TV shows and stuff like that. So what I do that right now, doing this work, having to work, it's like it's really tedious.
There's a funny line about revolutionaries. You can tell a revolutionary by the frequent use of the future tense. In the future, we will. So there are things that you could do now. There are food pantries that need help. You're doing. I know you're doing work. You're doing, your work of surviving, and more than surviving, thriving, making a living. But there are things that you could do until you get to that point. In terms of organizations, any number of houses of worship, have pantries and so on. But I think choosing that as a thing is important. That's very commendable, and you're to be respected for looking at that to say, I want to work and assist in improving and feeding the shelterless, the homeless. So that's your goal. That's going to be the charity of your choice that you want to work with.
That's definitely what I want.
Absolutely.
Because I've been through this, so who know better than somebody with a fantasize? Like I'm saying, a lot of people don't get that. Like a person can have $1 billion, $1 million, while incarcerated. They don't mean nothing if you can't do this. Right? Because what can you touch? You physically right? You can't. You have $1 million, you can't touch $1 million like you never had. Right. So that's the biggest thing, the biggest hang up, the biggest thing. Locked up, I used to do this, reminiscent of the past.
We spoke to a member of the Black Spades. He did 30 foot. He was involved with a number of street tribes early on. He was about 67, 68, 66, 67. And he did 34 years. And the Black Spades was an interesting street tribe. They actually were involved in community activity as well. At all gangs, like you see the gangs today. Depoliticized, not conscious. So you had gangs back in the late 60s, 70s, and going into, just through the 70s that were conscious. So you have important experience in a number of areas, or what people call, you have a learned experience. I mean, you were behind the system. Prison system, and you also knew intimately about facing poverty and shelterlessness. So those are incredible things that you were able to experience. Not that you were looking to experience or anything, but you went through and you survived. So it's almost like you have a calling.
Yeah, definitely.
To shed the light, and also I see you as one of the more useful influencer, because you were able to influence what happened in Ward's Island with the conditions there for they were housing men in that shelter.
Yeah.
I think it was thousands of people. Weren't they housing thousands of people? And they deposit them all. They bring them all early morning and leave them on Lexington Avenue. They still do at 125th Street, Lexington Avenue, and because they have to leave there. Is that correct?
Yeah. But I'm pretty sure like a lot of people must have been housing. It being in the newspaper. I'm talking about I didn't play no games with it. Everybody was sharing it.
I think one of the major media.
Not only that, I hit it to the newspaper, so they look for
right.
Media. So when you see the Blasio, the mayor of New York City, and everybody's name is being mentioned, now they got an answer to it. It's like you can't like not get around it.
Did you copyright?
Huh?
Did you copy? Well, it's yours anyway.
Yeah.
And everybody
You know what I'm
knows it's yours. Yeah.
So it's like once you tag his name, once you tag his name or whatnot, you pretty much gonna see everything that he's dealt with pops up. Now, depending on the date of when you put it out there, that's gonna pop up above all else. So it's like
See,
can't get around it.
that's already, you have to be recognized, and that's your, whether you're fully conscious of it. I mean, that means that you're an important influencer, an important person that shed light on a really distressing issue. How people were treated within that shelter system. Because they're isolated. They're not even on this island on Manhattan. They're not in the Bronx, but they're off of Morris Island. There's very little over there, so they started using that as a shelter.
Yeah. Also, like I did some of the protests and stuff like that. I was telling them about the term. I can't get it right now. Oh yeah, control opposition. People get paid through the government and things of that nature, and oppose as if they really protesting, but really they're not protesting with the government. They get funded by them.
These are probably infiltrators.
They
I believe that there were
so like I like revitalized that. Ain't nothing new in that, but I revitalized. I brought it back up. I was on a major protest. We got more than 1,000 views. I was protesting everybody, and I put that as my title. Show our position with the hashtag. And now everybody starts seeing that and whatnot.
So I really see now the George Jackson side, this sort of revolutionary stuff that you're bringing forward. Very important community and wonderful things that you're bringing forward. We're going to wind this up, Osar, but we want you to mention your websites, your Instagram accounts, and much else, so that people can know where to go, and also can reach out and support the products that you have and what you're about.
Okay, so
Look,
okay, so
please.
like I could be can I get closer?
Right here. This is good. You're good.
So you can find me at K Stretch 183rd. That's K Stretch 183rd all together, like 183rd Road, K Stretch 183rd. You can check out my health website at www.evolutionpertrim.com. That's www.evolution.pertrim.com. www.evolution.pertrim.com. You can find me on Facebook at K Stretch, the Don Shula, and you can find me on YouTube as Osar Baspatah. That's AUSARBASTPTAH. That's AUSARBASTPTAH. Osar Baspatah. And also, like, y'all could probably, like, when y'all do the video, if I send y'all info,
Yeah, you
have the link and
send it
stuff.
to us. You know the email, staff@oralhistoryarchives.org.
Now,
And then we'll
I
add
got
it.
your email?
You'll get it. I'm gonna wrap this up.
Alright, bet.
You're a good salesman. Not only did you mention it 2 times, you spelled it and you doubled down, which is good.
Yeah.
So for another edition of New Millennium Oral History Archives in the World, I'm the presenter, J. Bailey Morgan. I've been talking to Osar, who's enlightened us on a number of things that are community-centered, and we appreciate him taking out the time. Thank you.